since November, we can't have an episode without talking about AI. And
yes,
Microsoft came out with a GA for one product, and I believe introduced another. Why don't you dive into that?
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about Sales Copilot and AIM, and it's two different things. It was a bad chiron by me, but it's two different things for those of you that are looking at the pod. Or is it Chiron?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's Chicago, not Chicago.
Chicago. It's Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, just checking. So, look, if you haven't been following what Microsoft is doing, I mean, what it's done since its investment in AI and in OpenAI has been layering in generative capabilities across its entire business portfolio. There seems to be an announcement almost every week, Pat. It goes from Dynamics over to Teams to Windows and M365 and Office. Well, this week at Inspire, the company zeroed in on its Sales Copilot, which is part of its Dynamics 365 and CRM solution, and really it's a set of tools that sits on top of. So that just for background, the Copilot basically it sits across the suite of productivity and collaboration apps. The idea is this is the generative capability, automate tasks, create content, using being able to analyze data, design PowerPoints. Some of you have probably seen this. I'm dying to try it. I want to build a PowerPoint in 2 minutes, and then I want to fire myself. Pat, my goal to replace myself. You hear this? It's
another one. I mean, faster. Whether it's videos, whether it's presentations, research reports.
And they're coming to something like $30 a month per user for all this. Seems like it could work. But it's not yet broadly available. So about 600 global enterprise customers are able to use this. But basically what the Sales Copilot is and what they're really focusing in on now is how do you improve that end-to-end sales experience in CRM? Generating follow-up emails, creating initial introductions, putting that into the system, being able to use customization in text, being able to blend private enterprise data with public large language models to create more compelling real-time presentations that can be used on PowerPoint, in sales, being able to put together a price quote and do these things in an almost automated way. And you start to see the way this integrates, right? You start to see, a Teams meeting. I talked to a customer. In that meeting, we talked about what the proposal would be, being able to extract that and then instantly drop it into the Dynamics 365 Sales Copilot. Sales Copilot then creates a PowerPoint presentation with the proposal, creates a written proposal, drops it into the CRM, puts it into a different stage, depending on where it's been delivered, and then out it goes, trackable, automatic updates. You can schedule follow-on emails to come out of this thing. That's what they're really doing with Sales Copilot. It's a pretty compelling, set of capabilities and tools that every company on the planet will want. They're doing a similar Service Copilot, which can do things like automating chatbots, sending messages back and forth, being able to answer questions, tapping into ERP and CRM to be able to get real-time data. Where's my delivery? Well, where's my service ticket? I need a technical support agent. My product's not working, things like that. So you're seeing it in sales. You're seeing it in service. This is a big focus for Microsoft right now. Now, having said that, I'm going to be really clear. This is a big focus of every company that's doing CRM and ERP solutions. If it's CX companies like Zendesk, if it's Salesforce, their CRM and Service Cloud, they launched a fairly significant AI capability. If it's going to be, you're going to see some of this in Business AI. We talked about SAP. You're going to see some of this in NetSuite and in the tools in Oracle. But really the question isn't going to be if a company does this. The expectation is every technology company that has an enterprise software suite is going to do this. The question is, one is for each company, it's about protecting your moat, meaning having it be the customers you have feel that the AI tools that are being made available are going to be good enough that you don't need to consider a different AI tool and to take your business elsewhere. The second thing is then it's going to be competing on the quality. Pat, we saw Google also in Workspaces introduce their generative AI capabilities to do PowerPoints, to do sales proposals. Now, Google doesn't have a CRM per se, but you could start to see how, Salesforce doesn't really have an office unless you consider Quip that, and I would say it's not. But also, and you see, well, could a Salesforce and Google pair up to do something that looks a lot like what Microsoft's doing? So that's kind of going to be the interesting thing to watch. Is going to be the debate on how that all comes together. I'm going to quickly talk here about AIM, because the company also did come up with what's called Accelerate, Innovate, Move. It's a new program that the company put out to help businesses get into the cloud. And the reason they're doing that is because until companies move into the cloud, they can't take advantage of Dynamics 365 Copilot. So AIM is a migration tool. And it is it's not just a tool, it's a tool and set of services capabilities that help people move more quickly from prem or from traditional Dynamics solutions into the cloud. And so all the Copilot capabilities, just to be quick, are required that you're running in the cloud. So seeing customers move from prem to cloud so they can gain access to these features is going to be something that's important. So this is kind of a new thing, Pat. My big hope and consideration is, historically, migration offerings from companies have felt like this is really hard, so we're building programs and tools to make it easier. What I'm hoping Microsoft is really thinking about is migration to our cloud is easier than others, and we're building a program to make it even easier. And I'm saying this not cynically, but Pat, when you hear migration program, doesn't it kind of just make your hair on the back of your neck stand up? You're like, ooh, that's stressful.
Well, it's high risk, it's stressful, it takes incremental people. But I got to tell you, it's just as much work to bring in a new package. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
So both been through that.
Yeah, so I'll close this one out real quickly, Pat.
You sure you don't want to talk another 10 minutes, Dan?
No, let's keep going. Let me talk about enterprise bank. No, I'm kidding. I want you to talk about enterprise search, even though I want to, but I want to leave a little oxygen on this one.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I wasn't even briefed by Microsoft on Sales Copilot AIM, so I'm going to stick to what I was briefed on. And I wrote a Forbes article along with Melody Brew. It's up on Forbes.com. You can check it out. But listen, this is another one of these. This capability had been announced previously, and this one isn't GA. This one is in preview. Okay, now, like Daniel, I want this thing now. I want to start using it, mistakes and all, but I did feel like it was important to pull some things out. Initially, when Microsoft talked about these capabilities, they weren't as clear as I thought they needed to be, related to, we are going to use, if you want, enterprise data to make the experience better. And what I mean by better is accurate, right? Because if you look at OpenAI, it's the brain, and it's been tested on called world data, which is the public internet, and then Microsoft applies its own filter to it, mostly for security and recency, I believe it's called Andromeda. And then what you do for enterprises is you do prompt engineering at scale. Okay, you're not retraining the entire model again. That would cost $100 million. What you're doing is you are putting in mass, and by the way, I think Salesforce does a great job explaining this, to be able to keep your data secure in a SaaS environment. And some of the new stuff that came out was that each one of the responses in the prompts, when you go to Microsoft Bing search, is it tells you the source of the data. It also tells you it's internal data only, like only you can see that. It's not the first time Microsoft has done this. If you use Bing search many times like I do, and you connect your Azure AD and your corporate, it will tell you you're the only one to see this. Google does the same thing with Workspace. When you do a search, and it sprinkles in your enterprise data if you've uploaded that. So I really, really do appreciate that, because a system like this has to provide trust, okay? And that's trust not just in the trust, is it giving me garbage back, which is obviously important, but really having trust in where it came from. And, as we like to say sometimes, trust and verify, labeling these links with results with where it pulled the data from will increase that trust over time. Now, long term, I don't know if you're going to need that. Like once people get trust, those links just might go away. Now, you still have to have that on the the consumer side, because you need to send links back to advertisers and stuff like that. But it is very smart in how they introduced this AI. When it does come to trust, I mean, people trust Microsoft. If you're using Office 365, if you're using Microsoft 365, if you're using Dynamics 365, you basically are entrusting Microsoft already with your data. And yes, generative AI is a little bit different than machine learning and deep learning and analytics, but you are still exporting your data out there. There is, the one nuance with generative AI is that it tries to improve itself over time, right? It's this living organism, it's this living brain. And, Microsoft is very clear that it's not going to use data that it trained off your corporate data to make the overall Borg, right, that's available to everybody else smarter. Okay. And that's it's going to take a while for enterprises to get comfortable with that. Daniel, like you, give me this now. Okay. I want to take my Word documents and turn them into presentations. I want to take my PowerPoint and turn them into Word documents. Just give me that now. Would you? Come on, Microsoft. I'm not an E5 licensee, but I sure would like to. Try this out. So check out the Forbes article from Melody and I